Everyone has a story. The question is, will you ever tell it? Too many folks are silencing themselves, never realizing their experiences may hold a message that somebody desperately needs to hear. Today's guest helps people transform their stories into lasting legacies. She's a publisher, a storyteller, and a founder of Liberté Press. Please welcome Teresa Rodriguez. Teresa, so good to have you here. How are you?
I'm great, Mr. It's so amazing to be in your studio. I've been listening to you, and I love what you do. Short little
that's awesome.
And then I'm like, I got you. I hear you.
I love it. Okay. I love hearing that. I'm glad you're enjoying the show too. That's really good. You help so many folks out, and I just love your heart when it comes to that. I love for you to kind of just be a little transparent with us. How'd you handle the fear of being judged? I know you help folks with that same kind of situation, but how did you handle it? How did you break through from that?
That's a really great question. And I think that judgment is something that we carry like viscerally in our body, right? Mm-hmm. And so many times we don't want to share, we don't want to get vulnerable. Brene Brown talks about that a lot, where we don't want to share because we are afraid of getting hurt. So the first thing to understand when you are about to share that you're going to become vulnerable, and in that vulnerability, there is going to be the possibility of getting hurt. And it's almost like when you're in karate or when you're, getting ready to enter a stage where you take a stance, right? And so with authors and with writers, that's what I'm asking them to do. I'm asking them to step out on that stage, literally and many times figuratively, and take that stance. Know that people are there's chances that they're going to get hit or they're going to be punched or slapped, hopefully just figuratively, about what they're sharing, right?
Right.
So get ready for that. And so how do you prepare for that? I do a lot of meditation. Okay. I really rely on prayer and just falling into that place of stillness and saying, if this message is meant to go out, then allow the universe to get the message out in the best way that message can be. And also don't get attached to what other people think about you. That's the big one. Don't get attached. Like I've been listening to so many podcasts and reading books, and that's the one thing that all of these experts are saying is don't get attached on how people are responding to your message, because if you know what your purpose is, then your message has got its own platform, and the people who need to hear it are going to hear it.
I love that. Especially that last part. I mean, we have conversations. It's been almost 6 years now. We've had conversations just like that about people allowing other folks to control the narrative, if you will, giving them a pen to write your story, which is egregious in my mind. What does it look like in practice for somebody who spent years letting somebody define them? I'm asking you to be a counselor today, but I know that you have those kind of combos with people. What's it look like in practice for somebody who spent years letting other folks define them? How do they break out of that? How are they taking the pen back, if you will? How are they not allowing somebody to control the narrative in their own life? How does that look practically for them?
So how that looks practically is, first is alignment. What is your North Star? If you do not have your North Star, you cannot set sail towards it.
Okay.
So when you look at your writing and what you're creating, the first thing that you need to ask is, who is this for, and how is it going to inspire them, educate them, thrill them? Figure out what the purpose is and what that North Star is. Once you figure that out, you need to understand that you're going to have to go through the story arc, right? So what's in every story? What is in every single story? You've got your hero, right? You've got a villain. You've got the tragedy. You've got the arc.
The plot twist, yeah.
And the plot twist. And guess what? That's what our lives are. That's what those vulnerable moments are. Those are those moments that we're like on the ground. So I'll be super honest with you. What I do when I get really upset and I'm like, my nervous system is freaking out, I crawl underneath my piano and I just turn all the lights off and I play Vivaldi really loud. And I'm like, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And then when I get out,
wait a minute, Teresa. Wait a minute. I gotta stop you right there because I want to understand. If I don't understand that, audience might not understand. Sound like you said when it gets real dark and real crazy for you, you crawl under the piano and play Vivaldi. Did I hear that right?
Yeah, I don't play it. I put it on my.
How do you play the piano from underneath the piano?
Sorry. You know,
powerful and magical and weird. How was that?
No, so I put the music. I put Vivaldi on my Pandora station, really, really loud.
Wow.
And I just go away, right? And I can emerge out of that and say, okay, I just learned a lesson, and I don't know if this is a lesson that I need to share. And if it's not a lesson I need to share, it's something that I've learned.
Okay.
And once people understand, wow, that lesson I just went through can help other people. So I'll give you an example. I was meeting with a client, a high-powered judge. I mean, bad. Like if there was any badassery that ever existed, it was this woman. And when she walks into the room, you feel her energy. And she came to my house and sat down and she just started crying. I'm like, what is going on? And she's like, you know, I thought you were friends with this guy and everybody seemed to know him. I see him in all these social circles and he was a realtor. So I trusted him. And he told me to get my furniture out of the house and stage it when I was going to sell it. He told me that he needed $50,000 up front. He asked for all of these things and now he can't sell my house and he's taken my money. And I was like, wow, that's a story right there about not sharing. And the reason I say that is because I had the same experience with this person.
Oh,
and
wow.
Different, not with a sale of a house, but in a situation where he borrowed money, he didn't give it back. He didn't follow through on his commitment. And I spoke with her and I said, you know, I want to apologize because I never told you about him. And she said, but I never asked. And when people pick up that book or when people pick up or want advice from you, they are asking for information. One of your podcasts, you had a gentleman who had one of his friends call and he asked about like, what book should I read about this, and this? And there wasn't a book out there that covered those. So he spent 8 months writing it. And that is the same with getting over your fear of writing, getting over that judgment bias that we have, and understand that your experience is going to solve somebody else's problem. Your experience is going to inspire somebody else. Your experience is going to enlighten somebody else who really, really needed to hear that. And that's where the power is.
All right. I wasn't intending to go here, but something you said kind of sparked it for me. I got to ask this. It's something that we talk about on our remaining 2 shows. We have more shows than this, but we have 2 shows that are just our main focus. Nothing else, just these 2 shows. But on both shows, we talk about this word very, very frequently, community. What does that look like for you? Because some of the things that you described, I'm not saying that's what the case, I don't want to assume, but it sounds like somebody who may not have community. That's what I've heard things that kind of sound like that. I'm not saying that's your situation, Teresa. I'm just saying that's how it sounds.
Yeah.
In other circles. What does community look like for you personally? Is it important to you? Is it strained right now? Where are you when it comes to having a community where you can be able to, I guess, have that release, that support system, that those guardrails, relationally, if you will? How does that look for you?
Totally. So my first book was called Fly Solo, the 50 Best Places on Earth for a Girl to Travel Alone. And the irony of it is there was no way on God's green earth that I could ever have traveled to all of these places alone to get all of this information. I needed editors and I needed help and I needed concierges and boutique owners and I needed all of these people to help me create this book. And so community shows up in so many different ways. So for me as a writer, as a publisher, as a single mother, community is in different little Venn diagrams, right? So I have my community of writers people that I rely on to read my writing and to be critical about it. Like, girl, you need to take out a bunch of this stuff. Then I have the community of the mothers, especially single moms, because I'm telling you that in itself is its own full-time job.
I can imagine.
So what are you doing about puberty? How can I even like the before times? What kind of diapers do you use? What's not giving you a rash? Like what's this thing that's happening to my body? And to be able to have a community to rely on to get some advice and some feedback and also some reassurance that what you're doing is not crazy, that you're actually on this journey with others. So community for me is the way I stay breathing. I have so many different ones based on what that need is or what I want to experience as well.
I have many questions, but I know I don't have enough time. So I'm going to try to do my best to just ask the things I think are the most impactful. Most of the most powerful books that I've been a reader since I was a young lad. Most of the powerful books I've ever seen start with pain, or they're written from a place of pain. I think my first published book I was in pain when I wrote that book.
Yeah.
How do you help somebody write honestly about difficult experiences without being kind of trapped, like people identifying too much of the pain and making it part of their identity? How do you help people not do that?
Oh, that is so, I have an author right now that she really identifies with her pain. I said, look at all these things you've accomplished though. Look at all that you've done because of the pain. So what we need to do is we say, okay, this is what's happened to you. Good job. Congratulations. Now, how do we take that morsel, that experience, and use it to catapult you to your next place? So think of pain, think of that experience as like a wall in a swimming pool, right? You can catapult off of it. But if you don't take responsibility or identify those walls of pain, it's like swimming in an ocean. You're in the ocean, there's a bunch of pain around you, you're not identifying it, and you don't have any walls to propel off of.
All right, where are we going next? Right. So I'd love for you to kind of answer this for me. I know I dig deep on these shows, and I don't mean to, but just the kind of host that I am, I guess. I know you're helping folks understand and discover how much their story matters on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most. Where are you personally in that space where your story is, non-negotiable, it matters? Are you at a 10? Are you at a 7? Where are you with that personally?
Oh, I'm personally at a 10. Like, I know that my story matters, and in so many different parts of our story, right? We look at our childhood trauma. We look at our sibling stories. We look at our failed marriages. We look at our travel. We look at all these different parts of us.
You don't want to talk about that one, do you?
And it's like, okay, so being able to pull from the Rolodex of my stories to share with others. A lot of times people are not ready to hear those stories. My sister died when she was 11 years old.
Oh,
and she was medically fragile and relied on somebody 24/7. So I look at that story, and a lot of people don't want to hear that story. And that's fair. Not a story I need to share on prime time. But when that story is needed to be shared, it is shared.
Mm.
So there's a facility here in the Bay Area that helps families like mine and they have respite care for children. It's called George Mark Children's House, and they just were on the cover of USA Today yesterday. And that part of the story is, how do you share these traumas in a way that you're not triggering other people's PTSD and their own trauma responses, right? And so knowing when to bring it up and when to not bring it up. You know, it's not appropriate to start talking about death and dying when somebody's parent just passed, or a woman just, had a miscarriage or lost a child. There might be other stories to share. So understanding the timing of your stories. And
come on,
when
Teresa, call that thing what it is. Say the words, Teresa. It's self-awareness.
Yes.
Say the words.
Self-aware.
That's an epidemic in this country.
Yes.
That's like, maybe even in this world, people are totally, you feel like this, they'll talk about that same kind of thing. No regard for their audience.
Right.
No regard for who we hear. It's like, this is my world. You're just living in it.
Right.
It's a squirrel trying to get a nut out of here. They don't care about us and how we feel, what we're dealing with. And we don't have time for that.
That's the next podcast.
I know we
know your audience, right? It goes back to know your audience. Yeah. Who are you talking to?
Absolutely.
Are you talking to middle-aged women who want to travel solo? Are you talking to new business owners and entrepreneurs who really want to figure out what their stories are? Are you talking about, one of the books that we published is a woman who had a traumatic brain injury, who lost her memory, had a near-death experience, came back, forgot who she was. So her book talks to a very specific audience, and to know who you're talking to, right?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, final question for you, Teresa. You've been fantastic so far. I appreciate you so much. Most people know this show because it's how we started in 2020. This was our first show, called it The Flagship. They call me Mr. U, the podcast. We talked about everything on this show: pop culture, entertainment, the arts, Bible, spirituality. We talked about sports, everything. I want you to speak to something that I think is universal to all of our listeners. Mm-hmm. If everybody listening today was in this place theoretically where they had a book inside of them. Yeah. Not just a story, but a book inside of them. Not just a chapter, but an actual book inside of them. Because it's not mutually exclusive.
Right.
It had a book inside of them. Encourage them about the power of starting right now. Yeah. Because before you answer that, just keep this in mind. I think we think about ourselves as kind of infinite. We got all this time. I mean, the calendar said there's more empty spaces. So we got plenty of room. But that's not how real life actually works. Tomorrow's not promised. So with that in mind, answer that question for us, and we'll go ahead and close the broadcast out. Go ahead, Teresa.
My favorite Chinese quote is Confucius was like, when is the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. What's the second best time to plant a tree? Now. So what do? You pick up your favorite writing utensil, you grab that paper, and you just start writing. Go to Starbucks, sit in a different space in your house, start writing, and commit to writing first 5 minutes a day, then up it to 10 minutes a day, then up it to 15 minutes a day. Do it every other day, but set a schedule, just like watering that seed. Set a schedule to water that seed. And I can assure you, your tree, your book will grow.
I love it. Thank you so much for being here and being a part of this conversation. You're helping us not let somebody else control the narrative. We're taking our pens back. Thank you for all you do. Appreciate you so much. If this episode or our guest today, Teresa, resonates with you at all, don't leave without taking action. Check out her link to her website, libertépress.com. It's in the show notes, also in the comment section as well. If you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Lord knows we could use some more help. It's totally fine there. Follow our shows, our library of amazing shows just like this one. So thanks again for listening to Teresa and myself. That's Teresa. I'm Mr. U. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. They call me Mr. U, the podcast.